If it wasn't for the internet, people wouldn't have any idea of any of this. And that's why censorship started happening so big around like 2014 and stuff, because they realized how big how people can share the information outside of media. Yeah, the social media. And that's why you look at Facebook and Twitter before Elon Musk bought it, and Instagram and all these things, and they you YouTube, can't say certain things. Yeah, YouTube.
For sure.
So many things are censored on there, but yet they let a bunch of crazy conspiracy theories still go on there as well. Like I said, because it discredits the actual truth of these things. And we were talking about off the podcast earlier, like some people say Elon Musk overpaid for Twitter, like $44 billion, but in my opinion, Twitter is invaluable because he is literally allowing all these people that have been censored over the last, 3, 4, 5 years
for the wrong reasons.
He's letting them back on Twitter, and there's so much shit coming out on Twitter
your freedom
nowadays.
Worth?
That's going to open up people's eyes if they don't stop it somehow.
Yes. What's your freedom worth, basically?
Yeah.
Yes.
And, I agree totally with the things that Elon Musk is doing with Twitter. I know a lot of people don't, but the thing about Twitter that is different from Facebook, and we've talked about this on the podcast a couple of times, Facebook is more of like a friends type thing where you share your media with your friends. Twitter is more like that thing where you follow your, celebrities, the people that you really
your check marks
that you look up to. Yeah, exactly. Verified people that verified. I shouldn't say verified in the sense that like they're the things that they say are verified, but verified in the sense that they have a certain number of people who are following them.
It's verified that it's actually that person.
But the thing about it is when you talk about Project Veritas, which we might get into a little bit, they are essentially fucking silencing certain members of one group, and Elon Musk is opening it back up to everybody.
Oh, they're silencing the right.
Donald Trump fucking got banned on Twitter. The president of the United States got banned on Twitter. Should that ever happen? No. The fucking president of the United States especially should be able to fucking broadcast wherever the fuck he wants to. And Elon let him back on Twitter.
Well, no one should ever be taken off of any platform, period, in my opinion, because the First Amendment and our right to be able to have a freedom of speech.
There's a reason
it gets tricky when we're talking about private-owned companies.
But that's the problem.
But there's a reason it's the First Amendment.
Right, because the First Amendment doesn't state you have the right to a free speech, but you can't say this, 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 and this. It says you have the right to a freedom of speech, period.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You should then think about, all right, what are the ramifications if I say this? You know what I'm saying? You should be able to deal with those ramifications, but you shouldn't not be allowed to say those.
You're
those
saying
things.
that you shouldn't have your shit taken off and be banned
Correct,
off those
but
social
if
media.
something happens as a result of
it, you should be held responsible for the things that you said by the people who are listening to you.
As long as you're not inciting violence, any speech should be okay.
No, I think period. I don't give a shit if you're inciting violence.
I don't care if you're inciting violence either.
Because
you have a right to say what you want
exactly,
to say.
Because then if it starts, as long as you're not inciting violence, then it's okay. Then what's the next thing? It's like a domino effect.
I'll agree to an extent, but it's tricky. It's like just that, because like if you're negatively affecting people's lives, you can say anything, and like at the end of the day, it's just words. It's not physically hurting anybody. But if you're like, if a major celebrity that has like so much sway was like calling for their followers to go and attack people and stuff like that is why I'm saying that's not okay.
I think that they have a right to do that.
Exactly. But I'm not saying
it's a slippery slope.
I get it, but I'm not saying it's the right thing to do.
Slippery slope.
But they should also
be held accountable if they do it.
Everyone should have their own moral compass and be able to do the thing.
Yes, but they should also be held accountable for what it is that they said, not be deleted straight up from saying it. Is what I'm saying.
No doubt.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
If the other side of that says, okay, you can't fucking say that, then do something about it. That's fine. If they're saying go incite violence in any certain way, they should be able to say it, but they also need to deal with and understand
if somebody goes and does the shit
to that person.
And then when it comes down to it, you have people like the Ku Klux Klan that are just radical racist people. I think that they have a right to say the things that they do, but at the same time, the vast majority of people that are at least living in the United States of America will look at the things that they're saying and posting on social medias and be like, this is wrong.
Yeah, these
They'll
motherfuckers are
disagree with it,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that they don't have the right to say it.
Exactly.
And I think that they should have a right to say it. Everyone should have the right to say whatever it is that they want, whether you agree with it or not, whether it's inciting violence or not, but should be held accountable for the ramifications of which they're going to fucking have.
I'm telling you all, it's been mentioned a couple times on the podcast. Anarchy.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
To a certain degree, I'm starting to.
I'll do that. I told you I was manipulative.
So if I kick your ass, then you're going to be all right.
There's other
Kick my
ways to
You
do
are
it.
a foot taller than me, but go on.
I think there's other effective ways to do it, but like
I agree.
it would require
Yes.
a lot of people standing up
I agree.
and getting out in the streets and saying fuck this shit
But see-
and doing it through peaceful means.
But see, I think there's different ways that those people can get their point across that doesn't necessarily incite violence or whatever the case may be.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
And that's what they need to take a step back, and I think they need to think about the things that they say before they actually say them. And figure out the right way to do it. Be able to say whatever the fuck they want, but do it in a way that doesn't put...
That's fine and dandy, but people can't rationalize shit like
That's the fucking people's problem.
Think
man.
about how different
That's
America
people's problem.
could be right now if 60 years ago the CIA and FBI didn't have a hand in taking out MLK and his name's slipping my mind right now, but the leader of the Black Panthers.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know what he was actually doing, and what he was going around and doing is unifying poor whites, poor blacks, poor Mexicans,
Poor
and-
everybody.
You're
Yeah.
not talking about Malcolm X, are you?
No.
No, Malcolm X was another one though that was that they
But he-
by any means necessary they had to get these guys.
But he was more focused on
Gone.
his race than he was than
Malcolm
others.
X, yeah,
Yes.
not the guy that was
not the guy you're
Fred
referring
Hampton,
to.
I think
Yeah.
was his name.
Okay.
But like, I mean, if 60 years of progress of having that not happened, where these people would, because I mean, people were out in the streets back then, big time, you
Right.
know, trying to protest these things and stuff. And like, imagine if either 60 years had passed with that, or if there was internet back then,
What
and
would
that
be
message
different?
could have got spread
Yes.
way more than it did, because back
Correct.
then you had to physically go and talk to people face to face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the conversation would be so much different versus what it is probably today, and the way people are trying to get their point across in a form of, and they're like, oh, that's not violence, and doing this, that, and the other. It's like, dog, half these fucking cities are burning and shit's happening. That's violence. That is a part or an aspect of violence that shouldn't be done
Well,
just because you don't agree with whatever narratives being.
yeah, that's one of the things that
ridiculous.
that like the Black Panthers did is like they were just armed to the teeth, and like they weren't actually like doing anything with the arms, but they had them so that way
Good.
people couldn't come and fuck them up.
Which they have every right to do.
Yeah,
You have a
exactly.
right to bear
What
arms.
they were doing
Yes.
was defending themselves to,
Correct.
from corruption,
Which is what that's
and
used
things
for.
like
Correct,
that. And
yes.
that's
Yes, I would love to see like you said, you and I have talked about this. In a perfect world, I would love to see people lay that shit down, sit down, and have an actual
And be able to
adult
talk about it.
conversation and actually be able to talk
But
about
at the
it.
end
Yes.
of the day, it doesn't work like that. If you want any real
Which is-
change, if you want any real change in global society, violence needs to happen.
I know, which is fucked up to think.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's the only
Well,
way.
give me one example.
Give me one
of how it's
example.
worked.
I was going to say
Oh,
because
of how it's worked, it hasn't worked yet.
There you
but
go.
that's because
We should still strive
There
for
you
that.
go.
right. But that's because like they owned the media, they controlled the media,
right,
they
and
controlled
unless
the
those
narrative.
people are taken out, then nothing's going to change.
Well,
is what he said.
Except for now, you have things like Twitter, where like as long as they don't go and censor it again and do things
Yeah.
like that, where Twitter is the new town square.
Right. Your freedom of speech will still be there, but he's saying, but that doesn't necessarily equate to what needs to happen and the accountability that needs to be held
So-
against
Well, I
those
don't-
people.
People would have to be a whole
hold on.
lot smarter.
Hold on. Here's
Thank
the
you.
thing. Here's the
That's
thing.
not going to happen.
Here's the thing about it. We are
Hard agree.
We are starting
Hard
to
agree.
reach a society where we are digitally and socially connected throughout the world. So I could see a change happening with that, because you don't necessarily need to have violence in order to change something.
Correct.
All you need is a following.
Correct.
So
enough people standing up and saying "fuck this shit."
A change
But
of
it needs-
something,
but,
yes.
But at the same time, social media has skewed things so much that you really can't view anyone a certain type of way, and if you get too outlandish on the thing that you say, people will stop following them. It's going to take someone who is truly visionary in order to make a change in the society.
On Facebook, yes, it has become drastic echo chambers of just what you want to hear. And that's like one of the good things about Twitter is if something's big enough news, it's going to be trending.
Yes.
So it's going to be,
But-
so people that want to deny that it's happening, the
They
truth
can't
to
deny
it,
it, yes.
they're still going to see it, and eventually, hopefully, that will wake people
I was
up.
going to say,
So-
and
so
that's
let-
fine. Hold on a second.
so-
Hold on a second, Spilly. I just want to say, and kind of to expand upon that, but will something happen to the person who caused whatever it is that is trending? If it's something negative or illegal, will something happen to that person who caused that? You see what I'm saying? Will
if somebody's committing a crime, then
But see, that's not happening though. I feel like that no one's being held accountable or is being put away or whatever for the things that are happening.
I mean, I'll
today's society.
say that you're right on one account. The FTX guy, like they stole billions of dollars from people.
If you
and,
have-
and
if you
he,
have
he was
money,
able
you're
to
not gonna
bond
get
out.
put away.
Yeah,
That's my point.
He was able to bond
Everyone
out.
should be treated fairly. So
Yeah.
everyone
But
complains
that's not
about
the way it works.
That's the fucking problem.
That dude should be in.
That's
prison
my
right
point.
now.
That's my point to all
But
this.
that's not the way it works. So like we can sit
So
here,
why is it
we
like-
can,
but-
we can
but
sit,
why?
we can sit here and talk about the way things should be, but at the end of the
I
day
get it. It's
doesn't
not.
work.
But
So
why?
It's either your job to fucking create something that changes that or just deal with it.
Right. So the only way that and you and I agree on this, the only way to actually change that is to take out the individuals that created that.
Yes, and I think that we do have the power to do that, but no one is willing to do it.
Correct.
I mean, yeah,
Because
I'm
they're
not
gonna
gonna
go
say,
away for a long,
I'm not
long
going to
time.
say you guys are wrong. Like that's one way to radically do it quickly. I mean,
I don't think that's a radical way of
no,
doing
no.
it.
I think it's
radically do
the
it
only
quickly.
rational
Not
way
that
that
it's
it actually
radical.
can be done.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yes.
Like that.
Because
that's,
you've tried every other way.
There's
and
a
it didn't
word
work.
for what you guys are talking
Well,
about.
I don't know
and
if we have tried every other way. I think the
it's-
problem is that we have not tried other ways. We've only
Okay,
used
and
violence.
if there's other ways to try it, I'm all for it.
What you guys are talking
as
about
long
has
as it
happened
works.
in a bunch of countries. It's called a coup.
Yeah,
Au
it's
coup
called
de
a
grace.
coup. Well,
Au coup de grace.
That's
Yes.
the point that we're trying to make. In every single revolution that has ever happened, it's been nothing but violence in order to make that change.
Well, usually the coups that happen are coups for a negative. Like it gets worse afterwards.
Would you say that the coup that we had in the United States of America against the English people across the pond was that way?
No, that was just an all-out war. I wouldn't call that a coup.
That wasn't
Like
an all-out war.
A coup is literally going
We
in
were
and
terrorists that were using guerrilla tactics in order to fucking secede from the people that owned us.
But that's not what a coup is. A coup is when you go in covertly
What?
and take out the top of them, and then
What
you
about
install new power
what-
right
what-
away.
Yes.
What about the American Revolution was not a coup? Because we did do that. We weren't able to go to fucking England and fucking kill
That's-
the king, but we were able to kill the officers, and that's what they did in the American Revolution. They targeted officers. They fucking revolutionized
Look,
the way we
the
fought wars.
reason
order
America
to try
won,
and accomplish
the
power.
reason America
Yes.
became America is because as rich as the British government was, it still takes a whole lot of time and money to ship soldiers across an ocean. The same reason that another country can't come up here and fuck America up
But-
today
but
is
we
because
kn-
it's very, very difficult.
But we
to-
knew that, and we fought against them.
That's when- but we
and-
were here.
and killed in order to get the rights that we have today.
We defended. I mean, I see what you're
Right,
saying.
but
We
I'm saying,
defended
but
our
that's
territory.
not what a coup is all
But
I'm saying.
how we got this
How-
territory?
What about it isn't a coup?
I don't think you understand what a coup is. A coup is when a small group of people go in and
Plan.
eliminate the leaders. Just eliminate the leaders and then take over power.
That's what we did in the American Revolution.
It's not. We didn't kill the
weren't-
king. We
no,
didn't.
No, we didn't. But we were able to eliminate the leaders that were over here.
He's
in
saying
our
that we were
territory.
able to infiltrate the
Yeah.
power and shift.
That's what we
the
did in
power.
the American Revolution.
England
that's how
is
we, that's how
England
we
is
won.
still
We used-
there.
That's fine, but they don't own us
That
anymore.
right, but a
That's
coup
what he's
is
saying.
England wouldn't be there anymore. It would be us taking over England.
I
don't
got
think
what he's
that's
saying.
how a coup works.
Well,
Look it
there's
up, man.
maybe vast options or vast takes on a coup.
It's. I mean,
A coup.
it.
Sorry, I wanted to do that.
Slightly different things.
I get where both of you
we're
guys
talking
are at.
about here, but a coup just happened in Ukraine in 2014.
Yeah.
And what they did is they went in and killed the leadership and took it over.
Yeah, but the point
And Ukraine's still there is what you're saying.
The point that
and
I'm
now
trying
it's
to
under
make
new
is
authority.
that-
Correct.
The point that I'm trying to make is that any coup, any type of revolution, anything like that,
Revolution and coup are different. Different is all I'm saying.
A coup.
I guess you have a different.
Take on it,
Yeah,
yes.
a different definition of coup to me.
Yeah,
because
but there
to
could
me,
be different definitions.
A
Period.
coup is just a mutiny over the laws that bind you.
Not to my understanding. I could be wrong, but to my understanding is it's literally going in and cutting the head off the snake and installing a new head on the snake.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
where
what we
you're,
did. That's what we did in the American Revolution. Just because we didn't
but
kill the
he-
king does not mean that we didn't.
But
What I'm
Jeff's
saying
saying
is
that, but they're
England's
still standing.
there.
Yes,
if you
he's
did a
saying they're still
coup,
standing.
America would be England and here.
Yeah.
We would have took everything.
But I don't think that's
Coup d'etat, a sudden, violent, unlawful seizure of power from a government, a coup.
Yes,
That is the definition.
But that doesn't state whether the government's still in power or I'm sorry,
Well,
still
they weren't still in power when
that's
they
not-
had the American Revolution. We took over power.
what's
A sudden, violent, unlawful seizure of power from a government.
But that's not
That's
stating
exactly what happened in the American Revolution.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying, but the individuals that were being couped upon, if
Coup
that's
d'etat.
even a fucking word, are still there
But we didn't bring,
as a people.
we
Is
didn't
what
bring
he's
down
saying.
the English government.
He's saying
we just took
England's
over
still
a
there.
colony from
Yes.
them.
He's saying if that was a coup, then England wouldn't even be England.
Well, no, they're just
There
saying
wouldn't
a
be in
seizure.
England.
They're saying a seizure of power from the government. They're not saying that we overthrew the government.
Which is why
we're just taking power away from them.
Okay, so then I get that. Yeah, so what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
I still hit more definitions because
That's what I'm saying. There could be more definitions to a coup.
right there at the top.
I just want to say
I know. We
A
just
coup.
read that, Jeffy.
a coup.
Right under that it said
Also known as a coup or overthrow, is a seizure or seizure and
removal
removal of
of
government,
government.
and it. Okay, so
So there's different
yeah,
fucking
so
variations
that's what I'm saying.
of it. Yes.
I get what you're saying. Basically, we overthrew a smaller subsection of the English government that was overruling us here, but it's
We didn't
just
take out the English.
various-
I mean, I could
Yes.
I
Slightly
could-
different.
I could
Yes.
argue that we did take over that government because they were no longer fucking enforcing the rules upon us.
But the English people are still there.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
England
England's
is still
still
there.
there. We just
so
took
I
a
see
colony
both.
from them.
Yes, I
We
see
basically
both
seized-
aspects of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think there's a little gray
There's
area.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
more
that's all I'm
definition
saying.
to it. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah,
A
we got
coup.
through that. We spun off a little bit from the documentary that we were talking about, but I think that we got a little bit. I think that we got the point that we
The
needed.
gist. Yes, watch it for yourselves for sure.
Watch it
though.
for
It's
yourselves.
fantastic.
Form your own opinions. Comment, like, subscribe. Fucking get on that shit.